Justin Habig made his goals clear when he was chosen to be village administrator of Cleves last August.
We need to improve our infrastructure. We're working towards the possibility of bringing our mayor's court back to address quality of life issues in the village.
But he didn't say anything about restarting a police department in Cleves and becoming its leader. That's a step too far for Cleves resident Kyle Smith, who is suing the village for an alleged violation of Ohio's Open Meetings Act.
We have a police force. We have Hamilton County. They're doing a fantastic job. There is absolutely no reason why we need a secondary police force in Cleves. There's not enough crime.
In a series of votes since December, council approved Habig as a part-time village marshal and hired a part-time investigator to pursue criminal nuisance violations against property owners in Cleves.
We owe it to our citizens to make sure that you don't have a junkyard operating next to you.
Mayor Chuck Burkholz has repeatedly stressed that the new department will be limited in scope to prevent things like tall grass, junk cars, and discharging firearms on private property.
Are you going to show up at somebody's door with a gun on your hip that says, cut your grass? This is where I have some limitations on what it is you're trying to establish here.
Former Councilman Gary Walters voted for the idea while voicing some concerns in this December exchange with Habig.
We can't expect a peace officer to perform any duties when they're not armed to defend themselves.
But you would talk about putting the vests on and their full body armor.
Just like you would require a hard hat for a construction worker, I think that it's reasonable that a peace officer would have ballistic armor.
Habig was the focus of a WCPO-9 I-Team investigation in 2018 about the alleged use of force in Elmwood Place. He was Cleves' interim police chief in 2020 when a Change.org petition called for his firing.
You're talking about someone who 1,200 individuals signed a petition to have him removed from being a police officer. That's more people than voted for Chuck Burkholz for mayor.
We made several attempts to interview Burkholz and Habig on camera. Both declined.
Don't see anything per se illegal right now with what's going on.
Kurt Hartman is Smith's attorney.
But I think it does raise a lot of policy questions.
Hartman thinks it could lead to confusion and conflict between Cleves and Hamilton County Sheriff, which has a contract to enforce state laws in Cleves.
Duty of a marshal as a law enforcement is to enforce all laws. And the village is trying to say, well, he's not going to enforce certain laws, only our ordinances and that. No, that's not under the state law. That is not his duty. His duty is to enforce all laws.
And then there's the matter of a tax levy that Cleves may put on the ballot this fall.
You think the levy is driven by a desire to bring back a police department?
Oh, 100%. Chuck Burkholz ran on a platform that he was going to bring back the Cleves police.
Although they wouldn't answer my questions on camera, Cleves officials did issue a statement through their attorney. It said they've tried to create opportunity in Cleves while striving for the highest level of integrity. In Cleves, Dan Monk, WCPO 9, I-Team.